Excellent. Perfect. All right, perfect. So we're doing our first session. And we're gonna go into setting the company properly and making sure that all of the elements have been decided on so that we can move out into the action plan. So first of all, the name of the company as registered is what now?
It's going to be Precious Promises.
Okay, so you're gonna establish this separately as Precious Promises, you're going to do it?
When you say separately, uh-huh.
Like, okay, you have the other company, right? You have the investment and real estate company still active?
Divine Hands Assisted Care.
Yeah,
It's my First Millennium.
both of those. The Divine Hands
Um,
Assistant Care, are you gonna keep both of those open?
Yeah, I'm
You are.
thinking I want to do Precious Promises.
Okay.
Because I want that to be exclusively the shirts.
Okay, okay,
I'm trying to think. I definitely want it to be the shirts.
okay.
I figured out some other stuff I want to do with Divine Hands. Like right now, all the what is it? The stuff that I'm doing as far as fixing up the house is kind of being done through Divine Hands.
Got it.
Even though it's not assisted care, but when I eventually sell it, it's just going to be real estate under that company. Then I'm gonna still want to venture out into some other real estate things, which I'll just keep under there. But pretty much the shirts and stuff I will do under Precious Promises.
Okay, okay. All right. So Precious Promises, are you going to make that a S corporation? A separate corporation, like where you have multiple owners, or are you going to be the only owner of the corporation? So there's three different designations, and I'll tell you the difference, and then you can tell me how you want to set it up. Okay. All right. So that will be so the initial way as an LLC makes it the equivalent without getting into the legal mumbo jumbo, it's the equivalent to having more like a side income. Okay. It's taxed as income. So they consider it the same. They put it on a schedule inside your tax return and they tax it as income. So if you make a whole bunch of money, you pay a whole bunch of taxes, just like if you make it as a W-2 income. Okay. And then you have a corporation, which is an entire separate entity from you. And then the corporation pays corporate taxes, and then you pay out income taxes to whoever works for that corporation. So there's two layers of taxation with that. Okay.
So then if I were the only person, it would be the corporation taxes and then my individual taxes.
Then your income or whoever works that business's income. Okay. And then the S corp is like if you have let's say, so sometimes it may have an employee depending on the type of business, it may not. It's pretty much done for passive income engine, sort of like if you have there's times where you pay yourself if you're working that entity, but it's a setup for like passive income. So you might have let's say a website, and the website is making you money and you're making it on the side.
So website is making me money and I'm making it on the side. So how does
that would be like an S corp? So let's just say that you so there is a way where you don't have to pay yourself the salary, is basically if you don't, there's no labor, there may be no salary, or you can contract it to the company versus you having to pay out an actual employee. You understand? It's done as where there's no employees, necessity of an employee. So it's like sometimes they'll use it. Let's just say if you had an Amazon store that was drop shipping, or if you have an investment in something and that was it was making you a passive income check and you didn't have to work that thing. That's when they use an S corp designation. So the taxes are reduced in that, so usually if there's no employee, then that employee has, so if there's no employee, okay,
Mhm.
then that taxation is like 15 to 25%, depending on how much it is. And of course, all this is relative to the tax year and whatever the current tax laws is. So I don't do accounting. You understand what I'm saying? I don't do
Mhm.
like financial advice or accounting advice. All that stuff changes during the year, and you would have to still see a technical accountant to handle that taxation part. But I'm just giving you a broad scope of what the definition of these things are, so that you can be aware of what we can do. And you don't have to make that decision tonight. Okay, but I just
So
want
let me ask a question. So what if, let's say I start out as an escort, but then I start hiring people? Do I gotta change the designation?
not at all. You don't have to hire. You can hire.
Okay.
So in a
So if I do
corporation,
choose to
somebody
hire
has to
later
work.
on,
Correct. You can still hire, but
okay,
you have to be the only owner. Now, if you take on more owners, you got to change it over to a C corp.
okay. So escort kind of sounds like what I need to do.
It kind of sounds
Um,
like it to me, but I just
Because
give
an
people different.
LLC, I'm not trying to pay a whole, I plan to make a whole lot of money, but I don't want to pay a whole lot of taxes.
And the
So,
thing is that it's not really income, which is the big thing. And you want to reflect your earnings. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really income. It's not really like you're gonna put all that money in the pocket. You might have, a gala to be able to have a the next year's clients that you're trying to court, or you might go out of town on a trip for research, so that's not really income. So you know what I'm saying? You don't want to have it taxed as income, so there's ways that this happens, and people use LLCs all the time as well, but those are just kind of the broad scopes of it. You know what I mean? Those are kind of the
mhm.
broad scopes of it. So
So if
you
you
want
were
to do the S corp.
recommending one, you would recommend an escort?
Well, what I would do if I were you in this scenario is definitely do the S corp now. And then if you want to change the designation later for some reason, then we can do that. Now, what we could also do, and this is another option, where you can start out now as an LLC, okay? And then we can have it requested with the Internal Revenue Service to be taxed as an S corp later, once you're making a certain amount of money. Because at the end of the day, this is also another thing that just kind of need to be aware of, is that any corporation has two filings, not one filing.
Okay.
So if you have a corporation, there is going to be an 1120 or 1120S. And then if you're a single individual, you have a 1040 and the schedules that are attached to that 1040. So you could also do an LLC now, and then later on request for the Internal Revenue Service to tax it as an S corp, just to reduce the tax burden later. That's another model. So what I probably think is that I can send you some literature on each one of the designations, and then you can go on ahead. By the next time, we will be able to make a decision on that. And then if you want to, we can do the request. We can go on ahead and register company now. Is that something you want to do now, or you want to wait till the year turns over?
I think I'd probably wait until the year turns
Okay.
over.
So
That way I won't have to do a premature filing and then file again. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're that's the big thing in the beginning of the year, is the moving on those campaigns, because that's going to take us to a lot of times you'll file now and then have to pay that annual fee next year anyway, and sometimes it's due, like in Florida, it's always due before May. So if you register the company in Florida, then if you register the day before Christmas, you still got to pay another state annual fee by January the next, a
Mhm.
couple of days away. So yeah, that's fine.
Now, what are
So
you guys' fees, like $25?
no ma'am, we are 125 to 150 to to register. That's just the fees. That's not what I charge to
So,
register.
when you say the annual fee, is
Mm-hmm.
that like
125
here, we pay an annual fee to keep your business quote unquote in good standing,
is what is $25. Yeah,
$25.
ours is 150. But let me explain why. Let me explain why. So we don't have state taxes. We're one of the 7 states that don't have state taxes. So we only pay federal taxes. And then the corporations pay pay taxes to the state if they make a certain amount of money under certain types of provisions. But most, like majority, vast majority of companies and individuals don't pay a state tax. So everything we do here is drastic. So if you get a
Okay.
ticket, tickets are drastic, subsidies are drastic, the income tax, the tax on the houses, everything is numbers, comparing to other states because that's where they make up for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Florida's a little cold on a registration fees a little bit more than I've seen in other states because I've registered I don't know how many states. But Florida's a little harder, but that's because it's a little easier overall. So if you kind of do the math with that. But yeah, so included in your consultation is that my fee to register the company is waived. So it's part of your consultation package. So that would have been 350 separately, and that's waived. The only thing you're gonna pay is the registration fee to the state, and I'm gonna walk you through the registration, the obtaining of the EIN, and the S corp designation if you so choose.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next question on our outline. So now trade name. So Divine Hands is going to be the name of the company. So for right now, I'm sorry, not that, Precious Promises, right?
Mhm.
So for right now, we're going to take that as LLC.
Yeah. So I probably want to read up on S corp just to get some more details. I know I've heard some things about S corp and people say because of liability and everything, it's better to do the LLC, but I don't know.
Well, again, there's so many different reasons to do any of those designations. The simplified version of the story is the LLC. Okay. And a lot of times when people are first starting out, you know what I mean? That's the easiest way to get it done. Let's just say right now we had it started. Now we're not going to officially be starting to the beginning of the year. So a lot of this stuff now will be layout and background information with the launch date of January, right? But let's just say that right now we were starting it's November, right? So November and December would be here. If you did an S corp, you would have to file an 1120S for 2 months. You understand? So that's a whole separate tax return that has its own separate fee. So a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh yeah, well, I want to have, companies that own companies and all of that type of stuff, but they don't understand that all of those things are separate tax returns that have to be filed with the Internal Revenue Service. So I tell people, look, when you're first starting out, if you know you're going ham, like you're starting out with a restaurant or, construction company, with government contracts or something, where it's already flying and moving, then go on ahead and put it over to the S corp so that you're making that type of money. But if you're not doing any of that and that's not how it looks, don't do it to yourself. Why? You know what I'm saying? And then later on, you can easily say, okay, Vanessa, let me go on ahead and just switch it over to the S corp, and then we'll do it at that time. You could do it a year from now, 6 months from now. So they tell you, okay, if you do it past a certain time, you have to explain to them why. But that's a very simple explanation. And when I did mine, I was past my 6-month mark. I've done it past the 6-month mark and got them through no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So That's always an option. So I'm just kind of giving you all the options on the table. And I'll still send you a outline of different, provisions that are more public about that.
Okay,
And then you will be able to make a decision. And then we'll put that in here in the plan once we do the action plan. Okay.
okay. Let me
All
get
right,
that,
perfect.
let me get my lamp.
Mhm.
It's dark in here.
Sure, sure, sure.
You don't need it.
Excellent. All right. So now let's talk about trade names. So this is a brand. Okay. So now we're going to start talking just briefly. We got a whole session on brand building, but you know me, I like to drop little tidbits so we can start just thinking this stuff through, because a lot of it's going to be in the thought places, and we're going to extract it out and make it be pretty so we can push it out into the world. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're looking at precious promises, what type of feeling do you get, or what type of, first of all, do you want to use the name Precious Promises as the brand name, like the DKNY or the Louis Vuitton or whatever? Is it going to be Precious Promises is going to be the brand name?
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Only because it's all pretty much spiritually based. If I go another direction, I would probably put that under divine hands. If I were to choose something outside of.
No, I just mean what the name is, not the company. Now we're going into what the name is on the clothes, or what the logo looks like, or if the name is in the back of the tag, or if we do the advertisement campaign, things of that nature. What does that look like? Like, are you going to do like,
same.
yeah, it's going to be Precious Promises. So it's going to be the whole word, or maybe logo.
I'm thinking I want to do like P's, two
Okay.
P's, either like kind of stacked, or maybe a P inside of a P, something like that.
So I'm going to go here. You're going to look at, so here, I'm going to give you a website, and I want you to look at the font. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you, hold on one second, let me get it.
While you work on that, give me 1 second.
Sure, sure. All right, awesome. So in the in the shared file, you're gonna see here where they're gonna have
Now, where's the share file?
That's the same document, I'm sorry, the shared document, the one that says Yolanda Thomas T-shirt
Oh,
company.
uh-huh.
So and there you're gonna see a place where it says brand, logo and font, and then next week's follow-up, and you hit the link, right? And when you hit that link, you're gonna open up and this is just the start digging into. It's not a drop and doom thing. It's not even the next thing we're doing, but it's something that's going to be a little fun because now you can look in there and pick any type of font that you want to start looking at those P's. Okay.
So now, can I go to it while we're on the phone?
Absolutely.
I kind of don't understand.
Sure.
So go back to the email.
All right, hold on. I'll show you the entire document.
Okay.
All right, so this is the shared document that we have together.
Mm-hmm.
And then like if you click somewhere on that document,
Mm-hmm.
then I can see your name come up.
Okay, brand, logo, and font.
So you're gonna click here and it's gonna bring you to Envato Elements. And then you're gonna go, let's say, how you want it to be. Do you want it to be like cursive or do you want it to be like business, traditional?
I'll probably say business traditional.
Okay. I'll just put traditional. So there's all type, and there's literally thousands of fonts everywhere. Different types, I mean, you can put anything that you want in there. And there's all types of fonts that'll come up. And then whatever the ones that you want to put your P's into, and then we can download this font and then we can upload it into your graphic file, and then we can go on ahead and build a graphic file from it. So that'll keep it to where you can build your own logo
Okay,
without that being a separate cost.
okay. And Envato Elements.
So it's a yeah. So it's all. I mean, like, so that's traditional. Let's just put. And every one of these, we can just download it. It'll come looking just like this. So in any direction, if you want to put so anything you can imagine, just put it in there and start exploring what you can see, visualize with that logo. And because it's letters, I suggest you think about like what that visually would look like for you, so that you can kind of be in your own mind of perfection too, because that gives you a lot of options.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that's that. And then let's go into, we have the trade name, so we're gonna do both. Precious Promises is gonna be both that and that. So are you gonna have two versions of that logo? Will you have one that is just the initials and then another one where the word is spelled out, or just the initials will be there for all of it?
I think probably to start, I would do initials for all of it.
Okay. All right, perfect. And then, so let's talk about the types of t-shirts, okay? We said that we were gonna start out with 3 different designs, am I correct?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't get a chance to go on that website.
We're gonna go right now. We'll go right now together.
Okay.
Any of this stuff is, if you have any time where it's like, okay, I didn't get to it, we'll just review it together. I really only do that to optimize how the time is spent, so that we can, make sure that we're optimized on how the time is spent. So. Um, so let me see here.
Yeah, she back up on her knees, huh?
Mm,
My niece. She
oh.
keeps sleeping on her. She wants to sleep on her knees. I put her legs back flat. Went right back to her knees.
hmm She like that womb sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's almost every type of thought of, I don't know. I mean, if you can think about it, they come up with it. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this stuff, like this right here, is like super high powered, you know, detail, it's cute. But that's a high one. 450 is a high one on here. Now this is supposed to be a vetted pro service, but I don't really know, how all of that works. That's not my side of the equation, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that that's not usually how high they usually come. I gotta close some of these windows. I got 500 windows open. All right, so there are a lot of options here. Okay. Now, when you said that you were looking for the graphics, is it this type of graphic level, or is it more just plain words on the
Like I think it's probably a little bit more simpler than that. Like that's like a lot of high graphics. Like that one right there where it says soul food. I'd probably be looking to do something like that.
Got it.
Like it might have a wave or somebody fishing, and that might be about it, along with the words and the scripture that it could be where it could be found.
Okay.
So not a lot of graphics. And then Keisha does design, so I might just let her go ahead and see like how it is.
Yes.
That one right there where it says Stacy Potato, where it's just got a
Which one?
cupcake.
This one.
Yes.
Oh.
It would be something like that. Something
Oh,
real
okay.
simple like that. So it
Excellent.
might be somebody fishing, maybe in a boat.
Got you.
So yeah. It'll be eye-catching, like, ooh, but it's not gonna be deep graphics.
Loaded. Right. Got you.
Mhm.
Okay. Perfect. And yeah, so these are just little concepts and ideas. This is not necessarily where you need to use either.
Mhm.
But this also gives you a lot to start looking at, with different concepts and ideas that are there. Also, if you want to separate that stuff and, if you wanted something with the calligraphy out of the first site that we were talking about, we can go on ahead and put that as an additive to your project as well.
Okay.
Okay, so if you see something in there that's font or that's graphics that you like, we can go on ahead and add that as part of the component of the design.
Okay.
So that we have that. Okay, so now I would like to know now. Okay, so we have the 3 designs. So okay, first and foremost, you have 2 options on how to be able to do this from a processing standpoint. Now, actually, technically 3. So you can either sorry. So you can either have the purchase of, you can either have the where you purchase the wholesale t-shirts and you sell them live, package them yourself and mail them from where you are. Or you can have a company do that for you, which reduces your profit margins, of course, because they're doing this, they're supplying you the
The big
efforts.
bulk of it. Bulk of the work.
So, right, so both of them, so now, so if that's the case, then we need to source now. This is my, so we got, and here we, another option situation. So from the sourcing standpoint, I always say get at least 3 different places where you can, if possible, have the wholesale purchase of whatever you're looking to do. In this case, to have the t-shirts done. So what I would like to do or see is, at least if not one, have, okay, meaning if the first one we would do, if we would do just one, would be somewhere in your local area. Because I am even though there are plenty of websites and a lot of them have very cheap shirts, the problem is timing. So it's easier to be able to deal with it if it's local than if it's somewhere further than you. Okay. Now, once you start dealing with bulk purchases, the cheaper amount will more than likely be away from you. Okay. Some type of way, the bigger warehouses usually have a cheaper cost per shirt. Also, there's another option. You can be able to get the shirts wholesale and get a heat press machine once you're doing a whole lot of shirts. It's a whole lot of orders are coming in, because that's the cheapest way to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So for now, what the you can either do where we have one local where we pick it up from and they do the shirts, or you can have one national and then have a local backup.
Okay.
So usually the national has cheaper pricing, but they usually have a larger order minimum. So some of them have like maybe 48 shirt minimums in any size, things like that.
Okay.
And then the local places are usually going to be, I don't know, maybe $10 a shirt or so if you get less than a dozen, and then they start dropping the more you get of that type. So if you build a relationship with them, they'll already have what's necessary for them to print out your shirts all the time, and then it could be under demand. So what that does for you is, for example, let's just say that you have an Amazon store or your eBay store, and those particular stores are really, really doing a lot of volume. Okay. But they also give you a day or two in order to send that. You tell them you got 2-day processing time. Well, if your t-shirt people can turn around 24 hours, you're ready to go. You see what I'm saying? So now if you don't have to have that inventory already on hand, you could just produce it in real time and still make a profit. Pick it up, order it today, get it tomorrow. There's a lot of those type of places, especially when you really do our numbers, they'll shut down and make sure that you good. So they'll pick it up, they'll order it today, get it tomorrow, that type of thing. So, so that's definitely in the cards. What other thing? So I was going to say the other thing is drop shipping. So drop shipping is basically where you are designing it. You put it on a website. They order all types of colors, shapes, sizes. You hadn't even got to pay attention to it. They already have their stuff. They ship their stuff, and you might make a less amount, but you literally aren't doing nothing. So that's also a model, and whichever model is just, it has to do with the effect of the profit margin. So it's going to be more work to do it for you, because it may be, and this is not far-fetched at all, it may be a situation where you may have 100 orders, through eBay, you know, or Amazon. You may
Mhm.
have 1,000 orders through some of these things, you know, so it's not far-fetched to say that there may be massive amounts of orders depending on which marketing channels we choose, right?
Mhm.
So that's also an option. And then there's the hybrid. And there, everything that we have has a hybrid, whether or not you you know, hey, let's do 3 options. Let's do a national, let's do a local, and then let's do a drop shipping company, just in case that the orders get too big and we got to use that drop shipping company to do the order, and then just to make sure that it's fulfilled. So that's also a model that we can go with.
Okay, that sounds good. So sort of like a backup to the backup.
That's my thing about because the thing is, people don't understand. You know, people don't understand. You know, they don't. You know, they say, oh, well, you know, I'm supposed to have it in a week.
Mhm.
You know,
And
your
if you don't
whole
have it in a
situation
week,
might have exploded. They still want their t-shirt in a week. They don't care nothing about what you're talking about. They just want their t-shirt, you know.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times, you know, it'll be something like, oh, this machine went down at this place. Well, it's the only place I know where to get it. This is the only place I'm set up. I don't know anything else. I don't have any other person to call. I haven't tested any t-shirts, anything. I don't know any quality, anything. So I got some t-shirt orders to fulfill in a day or two. And now I got to scramble in real time. That's why this is here,
Mhm.
so that you don't have that type of issue. So we can do all 3. And I think that that's best here.
Mhm.
So we'll have a drop ship, a local and national
Sounds good.
source. Now, I suggest you giving a cap number of the particular things that I suggest you give a cap number of the particular places you want to try for each, but you need to at least purchase 1 t-shirt for each version, because you want to know the quality, that the
Mhm.
t-shirt isn't raggedy, because you know things look good over the internet. But you
Mhm.
want to make sure that, you know, and you know, I don't have enough to be able to tell you, hey, is this one, that one, and the other one. This is kind of, you know, it's in the development, you know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
mean, there are umpteen how many companies, right? So we could just do a general Google search and see, you know, the top ones that are available. But we still need to at least have said that we're have begun purchasing the product, having sample shirts worn, and you want to get those samples. Those samples are how you do the sample distribution. So the people who wear those particular shirts, those are not throwaway shirts. You order one from each location, but you give those shirts to people that you know are going to be effective. You know,
Mhm.
so let's just say you got somebody at your church that, you know, is a person that's real prominent, you know, or whatever the case may be. Then if they wear that shirt, more people will see that shirt and they'll be ordering from it, because they'll be asking you what's going on with that shirt, t-shirt line. Hey, where'd you
Mhm.
get that from? Oh, it's from Precious Promises, this, that, and the other, bop, bop, bop. Now, so that's what that means, you know, so I think that that needs to happen. um you know, but we got to make sure that we sample. So how many companies do you want to have that you test? 3, 5?
I think we can test 3.
3.
Now, when we say 3, we're testing 3 for each one, 3 drop ship, 3 local, and 3 national.
So really what you can do is start it from the best option. So basically you test. So if you on the first one have one that has a pricing optimization,
Mhm.
and the quality comes out to be perfect. I mean, it don't even
Mhm.
have to be perfect, relatively perfect, you know, something that somebody is going to feel like they didn't waste their money if they purchase.
Mhm.
Then you're hit, you know, you don't need to do the rest of the test. You can test them later, you know, as we're making money, but you know, we don't need to do the rest of the test as a preliminarily. But if you find that that first one doesn't produce what your expectations are, then you are moving on to the second and third. And that's the reason why I try to give a cap, because over the 3, we should come up with something that makes sense.
Mhm. Okay.
Now, if we find that it's just outrageous, then we just keep going, you know what I'm saying? And we, because it's only a limited amount, like for instance, drop shipping company is only a limited amount of those. That's like, you know, that's a different type of business. But when it comes down to like Gildan or Fruit of the Loom, everybody's got that t-shirt. It's not like it's a different, you know what I'm saying? It's the same t-shirt. They just move your name and put a label in the back, you know. That type of thing. So, you know, and so you can think about those things also if you want to put the label in the back, or if you want to put a patch in the front, or, you know, something here or there.
I might put something, I think I might put something on the sleeve. That's what I'm thinking. I might put my logo on the sleeve. That way everybody will look and they'll be like, oh, I see the P's.
Perfect. So you're definitely going to have to get a specialized quote.
Okay.
Because those are a little different. When things are on the front, it's simpler. Even if front and back, there's a difference in cost. On the shoulder, those things start adding numbers. So it's not a problem. And I promise you, I wouldn't even question if you did. It's not even an issue. You maintain the integrity of your creativity, because that's what you're selling. T-shirts are still T-shirts every time their T-shirts become a T-shirt everywhere. The difference between A, B, C, D, and E is your essence. So if you say that it needs to go and come up the neck and the side, we just gonna have to find the person that can come up the neck and side. That's what we do, you know, because at the end of the day, we're here to maintain your creativity and your dream. This is your dream. So it should look like your dream. So all I do is say, give me the pieces of that dream that give me the creativity that's necessary, and then we're going ahead and flow right out. Okay, so that's going to be there. So we're going to keep that on the arm right now, and then let's do the quotes based on that. Let me make sure that I got that as a note. Okay, perfect. So now, all right, perfect. So now we got the name, Nyla. Let me. Y'all work my entire nerves. So I put preciouspromises.com. Here, let me share this with you. Y'all work my nerves with this full of tea. Boy, they can't let nobody do nothing, can they? All right. So this is what they want for it.
And what is that for?
Your domain.
GoDaddy? Good luck.
You know why? Because they know you want it. And they know it is popular. Talking about because it's easy to remember.
Now what is, so that'll be my email.
So Precious Promises. There are more dot this and dot that and dot the other. And then of course you can always change different elements of it to move that around. So you could put like the Precious Promises, or you know, Precious Promises teas, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
So why is it so much for the year? Like what exactly are we getting for that amount of money?
So it says that the domain is currently for sale. What will happen is very greedy people will purchase these domains and hold them hostage, so that when people want to use them, they will just make them pay a premium price and flip the domain.
Oh, well, I can probably come up with something else and do cheaper than that.
No, that's what I do. That's what I'm saying. So like, even if you did preciouspromises.co, one penny.
Mhm. Or I might do something like, can I do something like p.promises.com?
What's now?
P promises, something like that. Does it
Like
have to be the whole
P's,
thing spelled out?
like that?
Mhm.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's less, people want to type less anyway. So they'll be like, ooh, I like this. I know it's precious. PP promises.
PP,
That-
two,
Yep, pppromises.com.
3 P's,
Oh no, just two.
P promises.
Kiki said don't do PP.
Ooh, I caught it real quick. You heard, hey, over there.
PP promises.
She said, not today. We're not doing that this evening. Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Well, I'll think of something.
Yeah, so I mean,
Dotsie,
Dotsie, huh?
We'll think of something snazzy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put that as one of the things for us to pay attention to, for us to get a domain name, because we need to lock so you have to lock it around. And so whatever it is that we do here, we need to get the social domination for too. So as much as we can, we want to have that social media we want to have the social media handles that are the same or close to it. So if you want to do Precious Promises, it's definitely going to be taken, but whatever you use for the website, you can use for all the social media handles.
This is Ava.
Hey, beautiful, how you doing?
Say hi.
She said, yes. Look at you. All right. What are we doing? You look super busy.
On the computer.
Yep. Didn't I say it? She looked super busy. Her mind looked dog. It was just cranking away. Yep. She said, y'all keep talking.
Office closed. Get your shoes. Oh, yeah, look.
Awesome. All right. So
I'm looking at it through the back screen.
yeah, so all right now. You're gonna debate what we talking about, ma'am? Domain.
Don't drop it, okay? Just look at it.
Okay. And then all right.
I gave her a little glass bottle. That might be a mistake. I gave her a little glass bottle. That might be a mistake.
Yeah, because she looked real focused when she was over here. She looked over here like, I see y'all busy. Y'all keep being busy if you want to be busy. So for time frame and expectations, what is so technically, if we wait, it's almost a double-edged sword. You could technically make sales this winter just because you're inside the holidays. Now, it's not a rush for you to do either. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a person who likes to rush, but I also give the option on the table that there is a way for that to actually, you to actually be in business before the holiday season is out. So, you can also, we can be working for us to be able to have it done at the beginning of the year and keep it moving out from the beginning of the year, or we can go on ahead and try to accelerate it.
Well, if I were to accelerate it, I probably wouldn't want to accelerate full-fledged, maybe just one design. Just as a maybe a what do you call it? Pre-launch.
Sounds good. And then what we can do is we can have any sales be a minor activity of divine hands,
Mhm.
and then we can come back and get it full fledged at the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
right?
That sounds good.
Excellent. So you want to have your sister give me a drawing so we can go on ahead and start getting that local person. We'll get that drawing, the local area, and then we'll do a test run of shirts.
Okay. All right. And
And
then you
then we can
said,
go on
and so
ahead
I should look at some people that I can get to be personal advertisers.
you can.
Where
I
the-
mean, that just comes out of your test run when you're doing the shirts at all. That
Mhm.
just comes out of your test run. But what I would do first is just go to trade shows. Yeah, the little expos, the little, I get a booth somewhere, pay $100, sell it at a show. Go to the church, they be having a little church shows and sit down and they tell you $50 for a table, them type of places.
Mhm.
And then what I would do is just get the shirts and a flyer, and we'll work on a flyer together. Get the shirts, a flyer, and already be in sales. The most important thing right now is photography. Take as many photos as you can. You taking different people, pass it to maybe a pastor that might have a big a following in their church.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And say, look, I'm coming up with my own business, and I want to, if you like this shirt, I would like you I would like to hand one to you if you just let me know that you're gonna wear it. Is that okay? That's it. Most people like free things, especially if it's fly, people ain't just gonna be like, no, you gotta give me an endorsement deal. You know what I'm saying? It's a pastor. They just gonna put on the shirt. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? That's about that. They appreciate it, and then they're gonna start doing that for you. And then also you can also give them a benefit. Like I would also partner in with a church, which is gonna be a couple of churches that I would suggest that you do that in the area, not on a real major scale, because that gets messy, if you don't have the right infrastructure in place, but definitely on a local scale for you to be able to, give the church a say, hey, here's a few t-shirts for you to hang in the fellowship hall, or if you selling these shirts you make this type of money, or whatever the case may be. And I think it works.
Okay.
And that makes it move faster, and it gives you the exposure that you're looking for. Now in the large scale of this is a lot of bells and whistles. It's a lot of media campaigns, some maybe press releases, all type of stuff, is that type of thing. But for the short term, definitely it is get the t-shirt, make sure there's a logo that you have, make sure that you pick that, get the t-shirt, see if you want a fonts or a graphic or just words, however you want that first t-shirt to look, get that design, okay, get a flyer printed out, get a little tablecloth with the design printed on the front, have your t-shirts, folded up, and then any wherever the pass is, or you got a big place, hey, I'm gonna sit with a t-shirt, and anybody who buys a t-shirt that is supports the youth center, they don't even have to come up with nothing out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Is it gonna be geared towards older people? What's the market? What's your target?
Anybody that want to wear a t-shirt from the mama to the daddy to the baby.
Yeah, but see, like when it come down to like, if you saw the one, like the one that we were talking about with the cupcake, I ain't wearing no cupcake. I mean, you just gonna be on your own with the cupcake. So, you know, I love it, you know, I love it, you know.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So,
And I
yeah.
mean, I like the one I was talking about with the fishing. I might have a man in the boat fishing. I might have a man with his son, or have that could be 3 designs in itself, or just have a little old lady in the boat.
So I like that. You know, that's my favorite one, is that fishing one, because the target is cold. Like you can really push that. That's a real niche. Like that's a whole different thing than just a general, you know, the Lord is God is good t-shirt, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. That's an entire niche on its own. They're very fanatics about that as a culture, you know. So that's something definitely that we can get done. That's perfect. I think that that's an excellent idea. That actually would be a good one. I think that going for first, I would do a more broad one just for the holidays to test it out and start getting that awareness there. And then we'll go and definitely have a targeted campaign straight for that. The one that's just for the fish, the fishing the boat. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that one. I like that one because that's gonna have its own audience, and they're gonna always buy. Like you can literally just come up with one, maybe once or twice a year, maybe 4 times a year with a different design, and them same people will keep on buying the same
Give me
one.
1 second.
Sure.
Miss Jones, where you going? I'll be done in a minute.
No. Take care of your business. That's why I'm on for the one I'm doing.
All right, Mr. Jones.
I can't finish this without you dealing with support with me. You have to give them a login or password. No. Very important. I told you. And we have business, so you get back to school. No excuses.
I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Jones.
Talk to you later. See you later after you have a trip.
All right.
Get this work out of it.
All right, Mr. Jones.
So that's perfect. So how fast do you want to launch? Do you want to launch the first 3 successively, like one every 3 months, maybe? Or do you want to have whatever you test in Christmas and then have all 3 ready by January?
I would say, let's shoot. I would shoot for 1 in December and maybe 1. I don't know, maybe 1 a month, or maybe 2 the first month, and then maybe add a 3rd one on.
Well, you're gonna have 1 in December already. You have 1 that's a preliminary test, a model. Okay, so that's already gonna be done. And then, you know, if you tweak it, you tweak it, but you at least have 1 that's already ready and gone.
Right, and then probably January, maybe do 2. That'll be all 3 of them in January.
And then we could be having the other 2 being created during December. January is just what's gonna be launched, you know, that we'll launch all 3, and then we'll have live units of all 3. Now, and then the last question, and then you can ask me anything that you want to out of this particular session, and then we'll close out. What type of time frame how do you want to model your time with this? What type of time frame, and is this going to be something you do full-time, part-time? You know, are you trying to replace your personal salary with it? What type of time frame are you looking at?
So I definitely want to be able to do it, and I would think maybe within the next 6 months of full time. So pretty much in 6 months, I want to be replacing my current salary, which isn't that big.
That was my next question. What's the target number?
So right now, with what I do, I make about 30, maybe 28 a year. So I definitely want to, even if we say first 6 months target is 30.
So you're saying that you do about 25 personal,
I do about 22
30,000.
personal.
22 personal. All right.
And then my side personal shopping, I probably do another 10.
All
So
right. So yeah, so what I would, okay, so let me ask you this now. Oh, perfect. I didn't even think about that. So when you do personal shopping, you do it as self-employed?
self-employed, contract.
Yeah, you do a Schedule C in there for self-employed?
Um, I think last year it was, well, this will be my first year doing it.
Got it. Got it. So
So,
wherever you put your self-employment income, this is where you're gonna put this one for the winter. And then we'll go on ahead and start in January with you operating under the company.
okay,
Because you are a business. You personally don't need to register to be a business. You're a business by social security number,
okay.
you know.
So you
and
mean
then
with what you mean with the launch in December?
Right,
what we're
well, what
doing
we're
for
gonna do
December?
as a test ground, there's no
Uh-huh.
reason to initiate the whole company or
Okay.
intermingle that because you already got self-employment income. So it's already
Mhm.
gonna be a Schedule C. You might as well just add A to B. I sold t-shirts, I did personal shopping. That was my self-employment
Okay.
income. That's the amount, bop, 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 and make it real simple. Then you ain't even gotta register none of them things. Then we all do everything up into January. And once January rolls around, now we're talking about initiating the entire formal structure of the company and its launch.
Okay. All right.
Right?
So I'm gonna write some of this
Excelente.
stuff down.
Oh yeah, and then you got the note sheet too. You could always refer back, and then of course you know that all the calls are recorded, and we keep
Mhm.
audio and video for the calls, and then we also have that transcribed to you. So the call is going to be in a transcription software for it's going to
Okay.
have an audio recording of the call. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, a visual written version of the call.
Okay. That you mean something that I'll have access to pull?
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna have it. It's gonna be links. You'll be able to hit it, and it'll link you right in there, and you'll be able to see it and listen to it and the whole thing.
Okay. All right. But
Yeah,
now I feel you.
why I did that is because you know a lot of times these sessions are so. So I'm a formally. Did you have any further questions?
No, I think we pretty much hit everything. I do want to, can we just go back over so we both have the same understanding of the timelines?
Understand.
So, one shirt launch in December.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next two in January.
Mhm.
So then that means for December, because that's right around the corner. Tomorrow is November. So I have to probably really be really structured. So by next week, I need to have a design. So I'll plan to get with Keisha and have a design by Saturday.
Excellent.
Now, do I need to focus on any of these drop ship local and national things next week?
The only
or
one
this
we're going to
week?
be focused on is going to be local, because you need a
Local.
person that you can get it from and pick it up, order it, pick it up.
Okay. So find a local print. So what kind of, ideally, what type of, because I know it has to be somebody that does graphics, right? So I should be looking for a shop that does graphics.
So no, what happens is when she designs it, it should come up in a digital graphic format.
Okay.
So what they do is they upload that same digital graphic format
Mhm.
and it goes into their computer, and the computer does the print outline for the heat press or whatever they're doing. If they're printing it, then they do a heat press printout and then they press it down. If it's so they do all of that digitally by the picture itself.
Okay. Okay. Well,
As
Keisha can
long
probably
as-
help me out because I'm sure she's sent stuff out to print before. So,
Yep,
Alright.
and then we can see if we can get a t-shirt sample from a local area. And we'll get a sample from a local area and then see if we can go on ahead and make a decision on a printer. Or you can go with a recommended printer,
go on a what?
a recommended printer, a person that refers you to the print and you know what quality they have. That's in the
Okay.
area.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what else?
And then, so that's the immediate. And then the
Mhm.
timeline to go live is gonna be in January, where we're gonna start doing the marketing campaigns and things of that nature and be executing the action plan.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna also do, and this is less of a rush, I just want to make sure that you have it. And any questions that you have, I want to make sure that you're can go through them and we can make sure that we answer them together. But I'm gonna give you a business plan outline, build out, and you just answer the questions in there just like you see them as best you can. Don't even worry about being formal or graphic or anything.
Okay.
Okay? So I had that
Alright.
to you by tomorrow.
Okay. Well, send me a text when you put it in.
You told me when
I
you said
know.
that with Julian, you was like,
Yeah.
we don't do all that email.
Because if he
So
sent me
everybody's got a
something, I
different.
should send him something too, because if he sent me something between last week and today, I try to remember to try and search by people's names, but I really don't go on email unless I have a reason. So,
So I'll make sure that he does the same thing. And if you remember, you could tell me, you could tell him too, to
mhm.
make sure that he texts you whenever he sends you an email, and I'll do the same. Because I know a lot of
Okay.
people, especially like with me, they'll be like, this man told me, he was like, I sent you an email yesterday. Yesterday is church day. We don't do that. No, ma'am.
And
The
he
Lord has
expected you
his
to read
day.
it.
Don't do that. That's what we don't do. No, ma'am. We don't do that
Mhm.
under no circumstances. Nope.
And that's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna have to set up timelines and borders for myself, because I'm one of those people that I get ideas while I'm asleep. And when I get that 2:30 in the morning, like I woke up and I was thinking about the CMA that Julian had requested. And I was like, I forgot to tell the guy all the details of the house. I was like, it's 2:30. What if I could just shoot it to him, and then when he wakes up in the morning, he already had
She said it's
it.
2:30.
And then
I
I was
love to see
like,
when people do that. People do that all the time, talking about, the Lord woke me up out of his sleep, but he ain't wake me up. I'm gonna need you to stay asleep. Go on in with that foolishness. He ain't get me with you. He didn't wake me up with you. We did not wake up together. Girl, I be waking up to phone calls from 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. What are we doing? Not V McB. I promise you, I'm asleep. Good and
see,
sleep.
that's why I gotta really reel myself in, because even like sometimes my best time to clean up the house is when I wake up at about 1 o'clock.
You know what's funny that you just said what you said? Here, let me stop the recording.